big pieces. There's a block. And the Celtics with Tatum at the controls. Went for 50 and 40 in his last 2 games, and he's got the...
They operate at the top in the circle, trying to get a straight line drive against this Brooklyn Nets defense.
James Harden guarded by Romeo Langford. Second consecutive start for Langford. On the take goes Harden, scores it with a left hand.
That's going to keep James Harden in front of him, in particular when he gets his head down and he's determined to get to the basket. And speaking of which, Tristan Thompson.
Irving and Fournier with the rebound. Brooklyn won game 1 and 2. Scored 130 points in game 2. Celtics had a surprising victory in game 3. Came off the deck to win their first game at TD Garden. And then the Nets won in Boston game 4.
Close out games, BA, we talk about it all the time. How difficult they are, despite maybe having more talent with the Nets. You still have to match the energy of this Boston Celtics team early on. They're not going to go without a fight.
And there's Romeo Langford joining it with some of their younger players. Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Neese one fly. Now he's missed 9 consecutive threes going back to game 4. Thought he was fouled. Harden on the take. And Harden scores as Fournier hit. Tatum now fires a 3 over Griffin. And Thompson pushed in the back. That'll be a loose ball foul on Harden and the Nets.
Now, what makes Jason Tatum so special to me is not that he grew a couple inches, but watch him here. Such a special player, having some issues right now. And again, this part of the season, I say it all the time, everybody that's playing has a little something going on. You know, playing with some kind of small injury. You just have to play through it mentally.
Celtics turn it over. Harden scoring all 6 thus far. Gets the steal. First steal for Brooklyn. Here's Kevin Durant, and he has been a killer in mid-range in this series so far. Cannot hit that one. Poor shooting start for Brooklyn. Just 3 for 8. Now Tatum kicks it. Marcus Smart open again, and he misses again. Up ahead on the run out is Kyrie Irving, who elevates and scores.
There's 2 games where Kyrie got the tip back dunk the other night, 2-hand, and that one showing off his bops just a little bit, like throwing it down without touching the rim. I like it.
Evan Fournier hits a 3-pointer for the Celtics. First made 3 for Boston. He's going to find the ball quite a bit. He's going to have to join Tatum as the number 2 scorer to Tatum. Fournier coming to the Celtics from Orlando. Harden gives it back to Harris. Harris on the drive, and Harris finishes inside.
Man, the shot fake with Joe Harris, he talked about working on, this past summer, really putting it on the deck and attacking off the dribble and not just be solely a catch and shoot.
Now for the Nets, they're the team that most considered to be on the wrong side of that deal. And when you think about it, they're the ones that are probably closer to winning a championship as we speak today. Now, considering what Sean Marks really walked into when he took over this Nets front office, the Nets didn't own its first-round draft pick until 2019 due to that massive blockbuster with Boston. Marks was known to spend his early days here in Brooklyn, mostly nights, sleeping in his office. And it's just funny, Jimmy and BA, to think that how we look at this trade 8 years later when it was deemed so lopsided back in 2013.
Yeah, you don't know how things change and play out. Now, keep in mind, Boston been through some things, injuries that kind of curtailed some stuff. It's interesting how it comes around. Boston had all those picks, started getting young, had the momentum going. But now it's the Nets that find themselves in a position to really, really compete for a title this year.
Well, Sean Marks coming through that Spurs organization and getting a chance to run this team. It's Romeo Langford hits a 3 for Boston. And it's 15-12. There's a lot of branches off that Greg Popovich tree. R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich in San Antonio. Marks is one of those, and there was a steady plan. We didn't have an idea what was going on behind the scenes with the Nets as they were trying to clear some money and trying to get themselves in a position to compete, and it all changed with Durant and Kyrie Irving. Remember, Kyrie Irving had basically no such thing in the pro game, verbally committed to re-sign with the Boston Celtics, and then he pivoted quickly, and that's why there is such animosity in Boston with Kyrie. Spent 2 years with the Celtics. I think there were expectations he was going to be a Celtic for a long time, and the opportunity to play with Kevin Durant. Then you add the trade to get James Harden from the Houston Rockets, and all of a sudden you're looking at one of the most formidable trios in the history of the NBA competing in the NBA playoffs right now. And Jared, we are seeing all the rewards of Sean Marks putting those pieces together here in the first round.
There's no question, fellas. It was all about establishing a culture, making it so attractive to guys like Kyrie and Kevin Durant to want to sign here as free agents. And you got to credit Kenny Atkinson, who's now an assistant coach with the Clippers, for being a large part of that. But one interesting trivia question that has come about here during this series, we know that Kyrie Irving's won. Who has led Boston in a single season in scoring that is currently now on the Nets? Jimmy, do you know the other guy other than Kyrie Irving?
Oh, wait. What was that question? Oh, wait. I was watching it.
Throwing some curveballs.
Man, you trying to get at me.
Lost it out of bounds. That'll be Boston ball.
Say that again now.
A player on the Nets roster once led the Boston Celtics in scoring over the course of a single season. Kyrie is one. Who's the other?
Jeff Green.
Wow, you're good. It's a good thing I told you that this morning over coffee.
No, you didn't tell me that. See, Jared don't want to give me any credit. Yeah, how quickly I rattled that off. That was, I even amazed myself on that.
Here goes Kyrie Irving, and Irving scores the layup. One of the great finishers. There is Jeff Green.